Hi, welcome to this short training on meditation. And before we begin, I would like to congratulate you. You have chosen to pause to look inward and to walk a path that very few consciously choose in their lifetime. This itself shows courage, curiosity, and a deep longing to understand something beyond the surface of revealing life. For the next few minutes, I request you to keep an open mind. Gently place all your questions, assumptions, beliefs, and expectations aside. Not to reject them, not to deny them, but simply to rest them for a while. Let this space be a space of listening, not of judging, a space of experiencing, not of analyzing. I'm not here to promise you something completely new or extraordinary. Much of what I'll say you may have heard before. Meditation is spoken about everywhere today. But what I promise is something different. I will try to guide you inward, your within. And remember, your within is not the same as anyone else. Every inner world is unique. Every journey inward is deeply personal. I can only show you a direction. The real guide is a silence inside you, waiting patiently to be heard. Think of meditation not as a destination, but as a meeting. A meeting with yourself, a meeting that does not require effort, struggle, or perfection. Only honesty. Before we go further, let me share a small Zen story. There was a professor who was once visited a Zen master named Nanin to learn about Zen. Nanin welcomed him and served him tea. He poured tea into the professor's cup, and even when the cup was full, he continued pouring. The tea began to overflow. The professor exclaimed, "The cup is full. No more will go in." Nanin calmly replied, "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" This story carries a very simple but profound message. To truly learn something new, we must first make space for it. To receive something fresh, we must gently release what we already hold too tightly. Bruce Lee echoed the same wisdom when he said, "Empty your mind, be formless, like water." If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Water does not resist, water does not insist, water simply becomes. In meditation, we are not trying to become something special. We are learning to become available to silence, available to truth, available to ourselves. So for this journey, empty yourself first. Empty your expectations of what meditation should be. Empty your ideas of success or failure. Empty your need to achieve something. Some of your questions may be answered during this journey if they're relevant to your growth. Some may remain unanswered, not because they are unimportant, but because not all questions have universal answers, especially spiritual and philosophical ones. Each of us is searching for something slightly different. Each of us receives truth in form that only we can recognize. Meditation is not a technique alone. It is a relationship with your own awareness. It is a tool, it is a device, it is a way, it is a journey. And for some, it becomes a complete transformation. There is a superior way. There is no correct path. There is only your path. So as we begin, allow yourself to be gentle. You do not need to perform. You do not need to impress. You do not need to control your thoughts. You only need to observe. Let your mind be like an empty cup. Let your heart be like still water. Let your breath become your anchor. In this training, I will not give you something to add to your life. I'll help you notice what is already there. So let us begin this journey. Not outward, not toward achievement, but inward. Toward awareness, toward acceptance, toward yourself. Welcome to meditation. Hi. So first let me try to define meditation. I feel the word meditation is so overused and so exploited that it has almost lost its original essence. In its truest sense, meditation is not about achieving something extraordinary. It is about realizing the self. It is about becoming familiar with who we really are beyond roles, labels, emotions, and thoughts. But slowly, meditation itself has become the destination. People start chasing experiences instead of awareness. Some close their eyes hoping to see a lotus or divine light. Some want instant calmness. Some are running away from their lives and seeking refuge in meditation. Some want peace. Some want to know God. Some want enlightenment. None of these intentions are wrong. These intention comes from a genuine place within a person. But meditation was never meant to be a marketplace of goals. It was meant to be a space of honesty. There is nothing wrong in sitting and focusing on the breath. There is nothing wrong in visualizing a deity or repeating a mantra. There is nothing wrong in wanting peace or calmness. These practices help the mind settle, and a settled mind is a beautiful thing. But I invite you to reflect on one question. What if meditation is not about getting something? What if it is about meeting something that is already there? Meditation for meditation's sake, not as a tool to escape, not as a shortcut to happiness, not as a badge of spirituality, but as a gentle inquiry into your own existence. Let me give you an analogy. When we go on a journey in the outer world, we usually take a vehicle or start walking toward a destination. If the path is known, we feel confident. If it is unknown, we gather information. We ask people who have been there. We read maps, we trust guides. In spirituality and meditation, those guides are called masters. Their words inspire us. Their experiences give us hope. But remember, all of that is still second-hand knowledge. No matter how beautiful their words are, no matter how deep their realizations sound, until you experience something yourself, it remains borrowed wisdom. Meditation is a journey where borrowed wisdom slowly transforms into lived truth. And because each mind is different, each heart is different, each story is different, the path of meditation can never be the same for two people. That is why I strongly believe meditation is a vehicle, meditation is a tool, meditation is a device, meditation is a way, meditation is a journey. But it is personal in every aspect. No one can enter your mind and measure your growth. No one can certify your silence. No one can grade your awareness. There is no superior path. There is no inferior path. There is only an honest path. Some walk slowly. Some walk fast. Some pause often. Some wander. Some get lost in return. All are valid. Comparison kills meditation. Acceptance nourishes it. So let us become relaxed about outcomes. Let us stop treating meditation like an exam to pass. Let us stop treating it like a competition to win. Instead, treat it like a friendship with yourself. Sometimes you talk, sometimes you listen, sometimes you sit in silence together. Now, when I say empty your cup, I'm not asking you to forget everything you know. I'm asking you not to cling to it. Be curious again like a child. Let meditation surprise you. Let it unfold in its own way. You are the tea maker. You decide what goes into your cup. I am only pointing toward the ingredients. You choose their quantity. You choose their flavor. You choose their rhythm. Some days your cup will feel full. Some days it will feel empty. Both are equally sacred. Now, as we move to the next step, do not prepare to do meditation. Prepare to allow meditation. Sit without ambition, sit without fear, sit without expectation. Allow yourself to be exactly as you are, not better, not worse, just present. This is where the journey truly begins. Now that we have understood meditation as a personal journey, not a destination, let us look at some of its characteristics. These are not rules, they are reminder, gentle signposts that keep us aligned with the true spirit of meditation. First, meditation should be the easiest thing to do. If it feels heavy, complicated, or demanding, then somewhere we have misunderstood it. Breathing is easy, sitting is easy, being aware is natural. Meditation does not require talent, intelligence, or perhaps perfection. It does not demand effort, it invites presence. The moment meditation feels like a task, we turn it into labor. The moment it feels like a rest, we turn to its truth. Second, meditation cannot be forced. Whatever is forced creates resistance. If you try to silence your thoughts, they will grow louder. If you try to become peaceful, anxiety may rise. Meditation works through allowance, not control. You do not push the mind into silence. You let it settle on its own, like muddy water. When left undisturbed, clarity naturally appears. Third, meditation is natural. You were meditative long before you knew the word meditation. As a child, when you started it, when you stared at the sky, watched ants walk, or lost yourself in a game, you were meditating. No technique, no posture, no philosophy, just pure presence. Meditation is not something new to be added, it's something ancient to be remembered. Fourth, speed never matters. There is no urgency in meditation. Growth in meditation is not linear. Some days you may feel deep stillness, some days restlessness. Both are progress. There is no shortcut to awareness. There is no race to awakening. The flower blooms when the season arrives, not when we command to it. Fifth, meditation is a way, not an end. The moment meditation becomes an end goal, it loses its soul. Meditation is a path that keeps unfolding. There is no final certificate, no last stop, no ultimate badge. Awareness deepens endlessly. Just when you think you have understood, meditation gently reminds you how vast it truly is. Sixth, keep an open mind without expectations. Expectations are silent barriers. They decide what is acceptable and what is not. Meditation flourishes in openness. You may experience calm, you may experience restlessness, you may feel joy, you may feel sadness, all are welcome. Meditation is not about choosing experiences, it is about witnessing them. Seventh, remain fearless and open to experiences. Sometimes meditation reveals beauty, sometimes it reveals pain, sometimes it reveals unsolved emotions. Do not fear them. They arise not to harm you, but to heal you. Courage in meditation is the courage to stay present with whatever comes, without escaping and without judging. Eighth, guidance comes from outside. Teachers, books, tradition, practice helps us to begin. They are like signboard on a road. But remember, signboards do not walk for us. They show direction, we take the steps. Respect guidance, but do not depend on it blindly. Ultimately, your own awareness becomes your teacher. Ninth, do not limit your expectations. Meditation may give you calmness, clarity, compassion, strength, patience, or silence. Or it may give you something you never imagined. When you limit meditation to a specific outcome, you close door to unexpected wisdom. Let meditation surprise you. Let it expand you beyond your plans. 10th, no one truly knows the end goal, so remain open. People speak of enlightenment, awakening, union, freedom, or realization. These are beautiful words, but they are point toward experience that cannot be fully described. Meditation is an infinite journey. The journey you go, the wider it becomes. There is no final horizon. So when you sit to meditate, remember, you are not achieving, you are allowing. You are not conquering, you are understanding. You are not becoming something new. You are returning to what you have always been. Meditation is simplicity. Meditation is patience. Meditation is trust. Meditation is surrender. Sit gently, breathe naturally, observe honestly, and let the journey reveal itself one silent moment at a time. Now that we understand the spirit of meditation, let us come to how to do it. And the first thing to remember is this: there is no single right way. Infinite techniques exist. Some use breath, some use mantra, some use silence, some use sound, some use movement, some use visualization. None is superior, each is just a doorway. What matters is not the doorway, but your sincerity to enter. So never compare your way with someone else's way. Meditation honors individuality. What feels natural to you is your path. Second, nothing should be forced. If you force silence, the mind becomes restless. If you force calmness, tension is created. Meditation is not control, it is cooperation with yourself. It is not effort, it is allowance. Begin simply. Sit alone in silence, not because isolation is necessary, but because stillness supports awareness. When you are alone, you do not have to perform, you do not have to adjust. You can exactly be exactly as you are. Choose a comfortable position, stay. You may sit on a chair, on the floor, or anywhere your body feels supported. Posture is not about discipline, it is about comfort and stability. If the body is at ease, the mind follows more easily. Now close your eyes gently if you wish, not tightly, not with effort, just let them rest. Thoughts will come, they will always do. This is not a mistake, this is the nature of the mind. Thoughts are transitory, they rise, they stay for a moment, they dissolve. You do not have to stop them, you do not have to follow them, just observe. Like clouds in the sky. The sky does not chase the clouds, the sky does not fight them, the sky simply allows. Now, about the breath. Do not try to bring your attention to the breath. If your attention naturally goes to your breath, it is perfectly okay. And if it does not go to your breath, that is perfectly okay too. There is no need to force your attention anywhere. Breath is only one of many possible anchors. Meditation is not about directing attention forcefully. It is about allowing attention to settle wherever it wants to. Everything should happen naturally, not forcefully. The moment you push attention, meditation becomes effort. And meditation is not effort, it is ease. The main aim is not to focus on the breath. The main aim is to sit with yourself, to be present with whatever is happening inside you. Breathe, thoughts, silence, emotions, restlessness, stillness, all are welcome. Sometimes awareness will rest on the breath, sometimes on thought, sometimes on sensation, sometimes on nothing in particular. Let it be. You are not controlling the experience, you are witnessing it. Now observe sensations in your body if they appear: warmth, coolness, heaviness, tightness, lightness, tingling. Accept all sensations without fear. Nothing is wrong, nothing needs fixing. Everything that arises is a part of your own experience. Sometimes you may feel calm, sometimes restless, sometimes sleepy, sometimes emotional. All are signs that meditation is working, not failing. You may hear a thought saying, am I wasting time? This is not working. I should be doing something more productive. Gently ignore these thoughts. They are habits of restless mind. Meditation is not wasted time. It is time spent reconnecting with your own being. If your body becomes uncomfortable, change your position. Meditation is not endurance training. There is no virtue in pain. Adjust, settle again, and continue. Now, about duration. Start small. 1 minute is enough. 2 minutes is powerful. 5 minutes beautiful. Do not underestimate short sittings. One conscious minute is more valuable than one distracted hour. As comfort grows, increase slowly 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Eventually, you may reach 30 minutes or more. But remember, time is not important, awareness is. Progress is not measured in times, it is measured in honesty, presence, and gentleness towards yourself. Some days meditation will feel deep, some days shallow, some days silent, some days even chaotic. Do not judge any of them. Each sitting plants a seed. Meditation is not about controlling the mind, it is about understanding it. Not about escaping life, but about meeting life as it is. So when you sit, sit gently, breathe naturally, or don't even worry about the breath. Observe honestly, allow completely. That is meditation. Hi. Now a very natural question arises. How do I know if I am progressing in meditation? And this question itself shows sincerity, but it also needs gentleness. The first thing to remember is everyone's progress is different. Meditation is not a standardized journey. There is no fixed timeline. There is no universal milestone. What unfolds in one person in weeks may take years in another, and what happens in silence for one may appear emotionally for someone else. Both are equally valid. So the second and most important reminder is do not compare yourself with others. Comparison is the fastest way to disconnect from milestone of meditation. Someone else in silence is not your failure. Someone else's experiences are not your targets. Meditation blooms when it is free from competition. Instead, compare yourself only with your past self, not to judge but to observe. Ask gently, am I a little more aware than before? Do I pause more before reacting? Do I understand my emotions better? One of the simplest signs of progress is calmness. Not the absence of problems, but the presence of balance while facing them. Life may remain the same, situations may remain the same, but your response starts changing. Are you calmer than you were before? Do you breathe a little deeper in difficult moments? Do you find space between a situation and your reaction? Another sign is inner joy, not excitement, not happiness. That depends on circumstances, but a quiet sense of contentment that appears without reason. Moments where you feel okay just being. Do you sometimes feel peaceful without knowing why? Do you feel lighter inside? That is meditation working silently. Another beautiful sign is kindness. Not forced kindness, not moral kindness, but natural compassion. Are you kinder to others? And more importantly, are you kinder to yourself? Do not forgive your mistakes more easily, but please do so. Do you judge less? Notice anger? Not whether it appears or disappears completely, but whether it reduces in intensity and duration. Do you recover faster from anger? Do you become aware of it sooner? Anger transforming into understanding is deep progress. Notice resentment, old grudges, old hurts, old bitterness. Are they slowly dissolving? Are you able to let go a little more than before? Not because you're forced to, but because you no longer wish to carry them. These changes are subtle, they are not dramatic, they do not announce themselves. They simply start shaping your life quietly. Meditation rarely changes your outer world immediately. It changes the lens through which you see it. You may still face stress, you may still face challenges, but you will face them with more clarity and less fear. Sometimes progress shows as silence, sometimes as tears, sometimes as courage, sometimes as acceptance. So do not look for fireworks, look for softness, look for patience, look for understanding. Progress in meditation is when you react less and respond more. You judge less and observe more. You release less and accept more. You fear less and trust more. And remember, even if you do not see any progress, meditation is still working. Seeds grow in darkness before they appear in light. Trust the process, trust your sincerity, trust your silence. This is how you know you are moving fast and forward. Hi. Now comes perhaps the most mysterious and the most beautiful question. What is the end goal of meditation? And the honest answer is no one truly knows. Not because it is hidden, but because it cannot be fixed into words, definitions, or milestones. The moment we define an end goal, we limit something that is infinite. Meditation is not a straight road with a signboard that says destination reached. It is more like an ocean. The deeper you go, the more vast it becomes. You never reach the end of the ocean, you only discover more depth. Yet, even though the end goal is unknown, some things are almost guaranteed to happen when meditation becomes sincere and regular. The first is the vices gradually begin to vanish, not by force, not by discipline, not by moral pressure, but by understanding. For example, if someone has anger, meditation does not say stop being angry. Instead, meditation shows the root of anger. You begin to see how anger arises from fear, insecurity, or hurt. And once you see it clearly, anger loses its power. It is like switching on a light in a dark room. The darkness does not need to be pushed out, it simply disappears. Similarly, greed, jealousy, resentment, ego, and guilt begin to soften. Not because you fight them, but because you outgrow them. Just as a child outgrows toys, the meditator outgrows inner disturbances. The second guarantee is that you become calm and peaceful. Not because life becomes perfect, but because your relationship with life changes. Imagine two people stuck in a traffic. One is restless, angry, honking, stressed. The other is sitting quietly, breathing, maybe listening to music. The situation is the same. The experience is completely different. Meditation does not. It does not change the traffic of life. It changes the driver. Peace becomes your natural background. Even when disturbances arise, they no longer dominate you. The third is alignment with the universe. This sounds abstract, but it is deeply practical. Right now, much of our suffering comes from resistance. We want things to be different from what they are. We fight reality. We argue with life. Meditation slowly teaches surrender, not weakness, not helplessness, but trust. You begin to feel that life is not against you, that events are not punishments, that challenges are not accidents. You start flowing with life instead of pushing against it, like a river flowing around stones instead of trying to break them. And then something very subtle happens. The universe will become your will. This does not mean you lose individuality. It means your desires become simpler, purer, and more harmonious. You stop wanting things that harm you. You stop chasing what creates suffering. You stop forcing outcomes. For example, you may find yourself choosing honesty over convenience, silence over unnecessary argument, compassion over victory, peace over pride, not because you're trying to be spiritual, but because it feels natural. Your actions begin to align with wisdom, with efforts. At this stage, meditation is no longer something you do. It becomes something you are. You are meditative while walking, while listening, while working, while speaking. Meditation leaves the mat and enters your life. And this is why the end goal is very and never truly known. Because meditation does not end, it evolves. First it cleans, then claims, then aligns, and then it transforms. And finally, it dissolves the idea of a separate you trying to achieve something. You no longer ask, what will I get from meditation? You simply live, and life itself becomes meditation. As you move deeper into meditation, it is also important to understand what can slow us down or pull us away from its natural flow. These are not mistakes or failures, they're simply obstacles, and every sincere seeker encounters them. Recognizing them is already half the journey. The first obstacle is high self expectation. We sit to meditate and secretly expect ourselves to become calm, silent, or enlightened quickly. We imagine that because we have started, we should now be different. This pressure creates tension. Meditation is not a performance. There is no ideal meditator. Growth happens gently at its own pace. The moment we demand results, we move away from the essence of meditation. The second obstacle is forcing the end goal. When we sit with a fixed picture of what meditation should give us, peace, bliss, enlightenment, or divine experiences, we unknowingly block the present moment. Meditation is about discovery, not achievement. The more we chase an outcome, the more we miss what is unfolding now. The end goal is unknown for a reason, so we can remain open. The third obstacle is restlessness and pessimism. Restlessness is natural. The mind is used to movement, stimulation, and noise. When it meets stillness, it resists. Pessimism arises when we think this is not for me or I cannot meditate. These are not truths, they are habits of the mind. Meditation is not about having a quiet mind, but about becoming aware of a noisy one. The fourth obstacle is comparing with others. We hear others talk about deep silence, visions, or blissful states, and we start judging ourselves. This comparison creates insecurity. Meditation is not a competition. Each person walks a unique path. What you experience is exactly what you need at this moment. The first obstacle is self-loathing. The fifth obstacle is self-loathing. Many people sit with hidden criticism, self-criticism. I am not good enough. I am doing it wrong. I am not disturbed. I am too disturbed to meditate. Meditation is a space of acceptance, not judgment. When you bring kindness toward yourself, meditation blossoms naturally. The sixth obstacle is a closed mind. When we cling too tightly to our beliefs, ideas, or past experiences, we block new understanding. Meditation requires openness. It asks us to be curious rather than certain. A closed mind turns meditation into repetition. An open mind turns it into exploration. The fifth obstacle is fear. Sometimes fear arises because meditation brings us closer to ourselves. We may fear silence, emotions, or the unknown. But fear is only a sign that we are standing at the edge of growth. When met with gentleness, fear transforms into trust. So whenever you feel blocked, remember, obstacles are not enemies. They are teachers. Each obstacle is inviting you to soften, slow down, and trust the process. Meditation does not demand perfection. It only asks for honesty and patience. Hi. Now a very natural question arises. How do I know if I am progressing in meditation? And this question itself shows sincerity, but it also needs gentleness. The first thing to remember is everyone's progress is different. Meditation is not a standardized journey. There is no fixed timeline. There is no universal milestone. What unfolds in one person in weeks may take years in another, and what happens in silence for one may appear emotionally for someone else. Both are equally valid. So the second and most important reminder is do not compare yourself with others. Comparison is the fastest way to disconnect from milestone of meditation. Someone else in silence is not your failure. Someone else's experiences are not your targets. Meditation blooms when it is free from competition. Instead, compare yourself only with your past self, not to judge but to observe. Ask gently, am I a little more aware than before? Do I pause more before reacting? Do I understand my emotions better? One of the simplest signs of progress is calmness. Not the absence of problems, but the presence of balance while facing them. Life may remain the same, situations may remain the same, but your response starts changing. Are you calmer than you were before? Do you breathe a little deeper in difficult moments? Do you find space between a situation and your reaction? Another sign is inner joy, not excitement, not happiness. That depends on circumstances, but a quiet sense of contentment that appears without reason. Moments where you feel okay just being. Do you sometimes feel peaceful without knowing why? Do you feel lighter inside? That is meditation working silently. Another beautiful sign is kindness. Not forced kindness, not moral kindness, but natural compassion. Are you kinder to others? And more importantly, are you kinder to yourself? Do not forgive your mistakes more easily, but please do so. Do you judge less? Notice anger? Not whether it appears or disappears completely, but whether it reduces in intensity and duration. Do you recover faster from anger? Do you become aware of it sooner? Anger transforming into understanding is deep progress. Notice resentment, old grudges, old hurts, old bitterness. Are they slowly dissolving? Are you able to let go a little more than before? Not because you're forced to, but because you no longer wish to carry them. These changes are subtle, they are not dramatic, they do not announce themselves. They simply start shaping your life quietly. Meditation rarely changes your outer world immediately. It changes the lens through which you see it. You may still face stress, you may still face challenges, but you will face them with more clarity and less fear. Sometimes progress shows as silence, sometimes as tears, sometimes as courage, sometimes as acceptance. So do not look for fireworks, look for softness, look for patience, look for understanding. Progress in meditation is when you react less and respond more. You judge less and observe more. You release less and accept more. You fear less and trust more. And remember, even if you do not see any progress, meditation is still working. Seeds grow in darkness before they appear in light. Trust the process, trust your sincerity, trust your silence. This is how you know you are moving fast and forward.